Hi and welcome everyone to another restream here on Zelda Speedruns 3. Today we have the link to the Past NMG Tournament 2021 Losers Bracket Round 3. robjbeasley versus negazeus. And I am accompanied by my lovely commentators Rywag and Dow. Say hello, guys.
Yeah, hope everybody's doing well tonight, today, this morning, whatever. I'm lost track of time.
I can tell you're clearly woken up. So, hi everyone, my name is Rywek, and I'm so glad to be able to provide commentary for this incredible match we're going to have. We're definitely looking at something that's going to be pretty intense. I know that robjbeasley started over in the losers brackets and has just been keeping up. He had a hard time in the groups phase, but no way, he's gunning it. He's had victory after victory over in the losers bracket. He's over in the third round now, and he's gonna try and take down negazeus.
And it looks here like their PBs are about 30 seconds apart, with robjbeasley slightly ahead of negazeus. It does look like negazeus's golds are slightly ahead of robjbeasley's, so yeah, you never really know how it's gonna play out.
Honestly, with a 30-second difference, that's just a few blue balls or even a few transitions from Ganon. So we know this is going to be tight. And all right, here we go. I think this is my favorite part. It's the first 10 seconds of absolute stress where all you're doing is button mashing. I don't know about you, but I try to get my stress out as soon as possible. Just mash it away. And then as the uncle just leaves the house, you're like, okay, that's fine. All I have to do is follow him. We'll be fine. Everything's fine. You don't have a weapon. Oh my god. But that's okay. There's no enemies yet.
I mean, I don't know. I kind of sleepwalked through the first two splits, to be honest.
Really? I tend to stress out the most at the very beginning. My light world is just a tight ball of stress.
Well, I didn't say anything about Desert or Hera, but these first two splits I don't really pay too much attention to.
Okay, fine. I'll give you the escape. But still, heading out to Eastern with only 4 hearts? It can be a little stressful, and you can take one accidental hit here, another accidental hit there, and oh my goodness, you're already down to almost nothing.
I mean, okay, yeah, that's kind of true, but I just don't worry about it.
We can clearly tell here that Dow is the professional and I'm the newbie here. I run NMG maybe 3 times a year. Heck, I didn't practice between any of my own matches, so that was not a great idea. But here we are. We're actually looking at great runners. Are having no issues whatsoever. They didn't even take a hit. No balls of stress for them. Okay, maybe negazeus took a hit. But it's okay.
Yeah, the up slash strat right there is pretty consistent for the most part. It's definitely easier to execute than the optimal strat. Unfortunately, it does lead to guard frame rules that sometimes mean you don't get the double spin, which is really annoying. But early on, it's not too bad. It only costs about half a second if that happens, which is ultimately not a big deal.
Ultimately, in the long run, half a second, you're right. But it's all these little half seconds that compose your time. It's the difference between a sub 130 and a 130 exactly.
Yeah, that is true.
See, one that you can be proud of, and the other is ultimate shame.
Not sure I would go that far.
Ultimate shame! Just for reference, I have not yet done a sub 130, so.
Yeah, here we're seeing 8 slash from both of them, which is the optimal strat, but you see robjbeasley take a hit. We saw negazeus not really get the key where you want it to, so while it is optimal, it is difficult.
It's difficult and it's dangerous. You have to be really in between those mace swings. So. But if you can master it,
Yeah, here we're just walking for a while.
Yeah, it's the blandest part of the run. There's nothing to worry about. Maybe a few rats along the way that might cause a few issues, like, oh no, gots to dodge, gots to slash. The snake room is probably the one thing that's on their minds, like, oh hey, I hope it's a good snake room. With those 6 ropas, sometimes they just really like to get in the way.
Yeah, I mean, a very large portion of this game is read and react to what happens.
Yeah.
Certain rooms, like this big central room we're in right here, you never have to read anything because the enemies stay out of your way. But for a large portion of the rooms, you will have to pay a lot of attention to multiple enemies at the same time, try to figure out what is going to be the optimal pathing and that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like this particular screen, there is one rat that can sometimes get in your way.
Yes, I
Avoid it,
despise
Bobo.
that rat.
And there's another rat that doesn't typically get in your way, but sometimes just stands in front of the door.
Yep.
Nice snake room from both of them.
I never know what's better. Is it better to slash, or is it better to use your boomerang to get him out of the way?
The boomerang's 4 frames faster than slashing, so
Oh.
optimally you use the boomerang. However, certain enemies, like the rats, it's better to slash some of the time because they can give you rupees, and the sword has a wider hitbox, so it'll hit things that the boomerang won't.
True. Good rat placements. They're not stuck over in the top left corner. They get to move on easily.
And yeah, that's not for your bad.
No, these rats were not nice.
Oh, I was kind of hoping to see the red rupee and escape for robjbeasley, because that's how you know the rats have really been in your way.
Yeah. Oh, there it is.
It is. And negazeus a little trouble with the switch at the end there. Yeah, that lever is obnoxiously hard to pull.
Is it?
Yeah.
Just stand directly to the left of it and start pulling. That's how I do it. Pull the wall.
Optimally, you let go of the D-pad and then press the button. So it's like
Really?
awkward. Yeah.
So you're teaching me things here. Things that everyone in this chat can learn from.
And you can pull it from like a tile and a half away. It's insane. Like Link doesn't even have to be touching it.
It's just like real life. Like there's the only.
This is probably the most frustrating screen, especially.
Yes, this.
It's like the main reason you get St. Cart, to be honest.
Yeah. I don't know if many of our racers are going to be skipping the Sank Heart overall, because in a race setting, you do modify your strategies a teeny tiny bit.
Yeah, there's like, how many people currently running the game that are skipping Sank Heart? Like, less than 5. I'd be surprised if any of them are going to skip it in races, because it doesn't change the way you play, not really. It's just a nice extra safety. Other safeties, you have to go a little bit more out of your way, change your menus, that kind of thing. So it's more awkward. Nicely done cannonballs from both of them there.
Yep.
I like when the runners get the same RNG.
Yeah, well, it makes it quote unquote fairer.
It's also just nice. You can see how like the two of them compare. Like you mentioned, you know, it's a few frames here and there's oftentimes a difference between the PB you want and the PB you have. But a lot of that is usually reacting to things quickly and well, or remembering to get the arrow pot.
Yeah, basically remember. Yeah, there's lots of precise movements. There's lots of execution here. These guys are doing this for 90 minutes here. So that's a lot of actions you have to take in 90 minutes. Well, okay, there's probably like 20 minutes of text, but still 70 minutes of lots of things to remember.
Yeah, it's probably about 10 minutes of cutscenes and text smashing, somewhere in there. Which is quite a lot, actually. But I think they're a nice break, a nice reprieve.
Oh, yeah, it's time for you to breathe. It's time for you to take a sip of water. Hey, reminder chat, hydrate.
And negazeus missed the Popo for the damage boost, but smartly didn't panic, went straight to the anti-fairies and did the backup. Very nicely done.
Exactly. The only difference is just a half a heart damage. Slightly slower too, because you try and get the Popo on your way in, but...
And yeah, Sigor, negazeus opting for the 1/ on the Popo, which does get you rupee drops. Since he was on the green rupee, we don't really care for it. But
no.
If you can get 2 more greens or another blue, he's in great shape. So,
yeah. Maybe you can talk a little bit about this rupee farming that you're mentioning, because I'll be honest, I only started using this strat a few days ago, so I'm still not sure why you need this many rupees.
Well, let's make sure nobody dies first.
It's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. Over negazeus is already on Armos. He's using the regular old strat here. No issues whatsoever. Spends 1 extra arrow, but that's fine. Still has 7 left.
robjbeasley going for the just as optimal, but slightly more difficult to execute and slightly faster on average strat. Also gives an arrow to the wall there, but yeah. Now, ultimately, I don't know what these runners do for rupees.
Well, with both sub 130, I'm going to go ahead and assume they probably skip the back of Sahasrara, but this is where we're going to find out.
Yeah, I don't really know that that's a great assumption, but it looks like negazeus will be skipping them.
Yeah.
And in a second here, we'll find out on Rob's side. Looks like he's also skipping them. So yeah, ultimately, our goal is to get up to 110 rupees before leaving Light World. We'll get 6 in Aghanim's Tower, so we need 104 before then. In order to do so, we're going to pull 2 sets of trees, or 2 trees rather. The first one is going to give us blue rupees, and the second one is hopefully going to give us reds. And so it's just a little bit faster to only have to get 2 or 3 blue rupees from the first tree, as opposed to getting all 4.
That makes sense.
To have that happen, we need to be at 24 leaving the first tree. So you want to have at least 9 rupees going into it, but hopefully 14 or more. negazeus skipping that spin speed. robjbeasley did not get it.
I don't think it was... Because for spin speed, you have to be only holding up when you're in the stairs, but it looks like he was also holding left.
Spin speed is tricky, but actually, robjbeasley just missed the spin.
Oh, he just missed it? Oh.
Yeah, you saw dash does get kicked up when he went for it the first time. So.
Oh.
But yes, when you actually are activating the state, you need to press directly up or down on the stairs, except for in some instances where you already have the state well before you touch the edge of the stairs, and then you can hold diagonal.
Yeah.
But for the most part, you want to leave cardinally when activating the state.
So we can see like just one room in Eastern has already created this little gap between the two runners, like maybe 8 seconds apart. 8 or 10 seconds.
Yeah, somewhere in there. Usually a cycle at Red Igor's is about 5 seconds or so, maybe a little bit more. But then also it affects, how you approach the room, if you need to get anything else. You panic a little when it happens. So 5 seconds optimally, but typically a little bit more than that. Yeah, here we're going to come up on this first Popo room in Desert, which we do fast enough that the RNG doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's great.
It doesn't matter which direction they go in because they don't have time to move. But the cannonball room, is there a way to plan the cannonball room so that you always get through every single time? Is that also RNG based?
The cannonballs are RNG based, but also on a frame rule. So it depends kind of how long you're in the same super tile as them. And then it also depends on the RNG. So no, there's no way to decide. Here we're stocking up on arrows before the Landmolas fight.
Yep.
Rob's at 24 in a race. I don't know. On the one hand, I'd consider getting up to 29 with the pre-Landmolas arrows, but they're also cursed, so I have no idea.
The arrows are cursed?
Yeah, they're impossible to grab. And I can still do the room kind of fast.
Like, okay, because you're lifting up the pot, you're going through and it doesn't even pick up kind of deal? Because the whole bouncing thing?
No, just because I don't know how to write them starting in the top right instead of in the bottom left.
Oh. 24 arrows is more than enough for the Landmos. You need to get like just 12, right? Just 12 perfect hits.
Yeah.
It's easy.
Sometimes you get away with less. If you get really lucky RNG, you can get 10 or 11 2 cycles, but those are really rare.
You mean like a same arrow could hit both? 2 Landmos?
Nope. Use your sword instead.
Oh, you can use your sword, okay. Ooh. Rob getting a bit bullied by those BMOs. BMOs sigh.
Yeah, I don't know.
The flock of BMOs. There you go. A parade of BMOs. I like that better. Yeah.
Alright, so negazeus. This is an okay first cycle there. A little bit slow on firing arrows. It's actually difficult to fire arrows quickly in this game.
Yep.
There's a lot goes into it, so sometimes you just do what you can.
The whole animation of the arrows, like, you're never gonna time it perfectly. You have to time with the animation, which is like half a second long or something before you actually launch it.
I'm having an okay fight. He's missed quite a few arrows, so his arrow count's a little bit low, firing a bit early on most of these cycles.
He's down to 2.
Negazeus being a bit more deliberate here, but we can see maybe it worked out in Rob's favor.
Yeah, but he's out of arrows. He's going to have to get a few more, and he won't be able to use them in Aga Tower.
Yeah, Aga Tower is a very difficult split. It could be that Rob doesn't use too many arrows in the split to begin with, so picking up the 5 on the way is all he's going to need. Well, kind of on the way. Whereas negazeus, if he chooses to do bow strats in the tower, will have enough arrows. Won't need to pick up any extras. And yes, Rob did menu to the boom after killing the last Landmolas, but before the pendant drops, you can boom for free.
Okay.
Menu for free, rather. Yeah. He got pixel boosted, didn't notice it, so that pickle hit him there. Getting favorable RNG on negazeus' side. Wasn't comfortable with his dash cancel, so set up the fake flippers setup. Just a little bit extra. Please. Okay.
No! Oh my goodness. that is very unfortunate for negazeus. So because he got hit while he was fake flippering, the game doesn't know where to put him. So he has no choice but to do a save and quit and go back to where he was, well, soft locked.
And it's like, it doesn't seem like it'd be that bad, except swimming's actually impossible. So you have to get like pretty comfortable with it before you are ever gonna be confident that it's not gonna happen. And then even then, it's like, yeah, sometimes you get nervous on some of the RNGs.
That's quite unfortunate. That's at least like a 30 seconds time loss. Can you see why it's so stressful, the light world?
I think Light World is basically harder than everything in this video game up until like Turtle Rock.
Yeah. Like, I would fight Helmasaur with a single heart before I would want to do any of this light world stuff.
Yeah. Maybe not a single heart, but yeah.
Please. You only need one heart to beat any boss. Technically. You don't want to. You shouldn't have to. It's actually slower because of the animation to refill your hearts afterwards. But it's doable.
Now, what I'm scared for on negazeus' side is he didn't take the hearts in Link's house after the save and quit, so his health is not looking good.
No. He took a hit from a dead rock and a hit from a cabbage?
Yeah.
I mean, he could, like, worst comes to worst, take a death warp over in the big key room, which is technically allowed since you have the mirror now. It's just much slower.
Always allowed.
It's always allowed to take a death warp?
Yeah. It's just slower in every dungeon that...
Yes!
Get the key and then die to the middle. Alright.
It's fine. Everything will go well in his tile room. There will be no shenanigans from the mini Moldorms in the room after that. Everything's fine.
We certainly hope so.
We believe in you, negazeus.
Having to redo tile room is...
Oh, that would be tragic.
Nice beetle room from Rob.
Yep.
Recognized that RNG, if he had just tried to throw the pot quickly, was going to hit the switch. So kind of waited a little bit to make sure that didn't happen. Nicely done.
Absolutely. Oh, be kind, the mini Moldorms. Yeah. That could have gone sideways.
All right. Take the hit. No. Oh, okay. All right.
That's fine. Oh! He is bold!
Yeah, if we can get past the bomb jump.
Well, there is that one heart in the pot on the right side. If he picks that up and doesn't take a single hit, he can do the bomb jump. Otherwise, he might have to resort to going in the old-fashioned way, the developer intended way.
Which is slower than just taking a death warp. About, 2 or 3 seconds. So...
He's confident. I have confidence in negazeus. There you go. There's the card. He's fine.
I don't have confidence in this room.
Oh! And Rob takes a fall after, like, I think it was the 4th or 5th hit?
That was the 5th hit. Yeah, so he was 1 hit away. Yeah. Looks like negazeus may have, in fact, made the right call here. Gets through.
Yep. He could have attempted to get through. Oh, no. That's a second fall for Rob. He did... Oh, negazeus took the safety, but Rob didn't, so we've just switched heart amounts on each side.
And we'll see if Moldorm will eventually play nice for Rob here. Not getting the friendliest of patterns. Whenever Moldorm ends up on the left there, it's a little bit scary to go in and try to get hits. Excellent fight on negazeus' side.
Absolutely. No issues there. Takes back the tiny lead.
Looks like Rob is not comfortable with Moldorm's AI.
Oh no, no! That's a death! He got 1.0'd!
Not a death hole, so we're good.
That's...
all right.
Oh no. Oh
Could have
no.
been worse, but yeah, that's really bad. Dying to Moldorm, usually about 70 to 90 seconds.
Oh my, that's a lot.
And yeah, Rob's also gotten pretty deep into the fight multiple times now, and Moldorm just won't quite cooperate there.
It's 2 falls and a death. That does not bode well.
If you get death holds, you can save and quit. That's what you can do.
What is death hold?
If you die on the same frame that you fall through a hole that takes you to somewhere else, the game like puts you into EG, refills your health, and does a couple other things. So it's a wild glitch.
That
which only happens on this version of the game because this is the only version of the game where you can take damage
while falling.
While falling, yeah.
That is interesting, but hey, Rob, no problem, no problem. He's good. The refight went well. And negazeus grabs his Master Sword. So both are lifting objects in their hands in the air.
Yeah, so I mean, this game is just punishing. Like,
yes,
we saw negazeus, have a little bit of trouble with swimming, and that cost him about 30 seconds. But then the rest of the split went fine. I mean, health issues aside. And then Rob, gets to fake flippers, and the rest of Hera, well, mostly Moldorm, doesn't cooperate. So.
Oh, I didn't know there were arrows there.
Yeah, those arrows are the ones that are kind of on our way. They're pretty slow. They're the slowest arrows that are available to us. They're about 70 frames. For reference, that's the same amount of time that getting the arrows in my lobby. Fortunate arrow drop on Rob's side. He's not going to be able to grab.
Nope.
And nobody on the planet gets my lobby arrows because they're awful.
I mean... Is it because the buddy beam? I mean, I never get them, but I figured nobody gets them because of the buddy beam.
It's more the spark. It's pretty hard to not take damage in that room going for it. But also, they're just like really slow. 70 frames doesn't sound like a lot, but most arrows in this game are 20 or 30 frames. So it's over twice as long as most arrows that you can pick up.
Save the frames.
And nicely done first couple of rooms here. negazeus opted for an easier strat for the gold ball and chains, which is a tiny bit slower, but more or less guaranteed. Oof. Well, as guaranteed as anything is in this game. Getting seen by the guards.
Yeah. Yeah, bonking or using beams in this room activates the guards, so you gotta be very, very quiet.
Also, using the bow activates guards. Or makes
really? The bow too?
as well. Yeah. Anything that makes sound will have them notice you. So beams. The bow firing does not, but hitting an enemy will.
Hitting the wall, I would assume, would also. So it's the landing of the arrow.
Mm-hmm. Rob misses the first fence dash, and then bonks afterwards.
Yeah, that's okay.
That's why using arrows in this room activates the second guard.
Now, Rob has picked up the mushroom, and negazeus has not.
Ooh.
So that's a little safety for Rob. We don't know if he's going to pick up the powder at all. He might just use it for fake powder and Mire and maybe GT.
Yeah, skipping powder or the mushroom is pretty bold. It is definitely the best safety in the game.
Yes. Oh my goodness, yes. Oh, unfortunately, it's a drop. Yeah.
With the mushroom, it's less of a concern, but still not very nice. If we get beat up on the Turtle Rock overworld, it's very nice to get the fairy early. Now we have a chance to not get that fairy. We'll worry more about that if we see it at the pod bridge, but yeah, definitely a tiny bit concerning.
Yeah, we'll just have to wait until he murders that mini Halmasaur.
And here we have the Aghanim fight, which,
Do we do the blue ball game here or no?
I mean,
you...
I literally don't pay attention in this fight. Like, I turn my brain off, I just, like, spin, and whenever it's over, I
spin to win. That's fair. But yeah, so far I've seen 2 blue balls over on negazeus' side.
Yeah,
Good
the average
pattern.
amount is 3, which is not what you want to get, but, you know, I'll take average in a race. Or just if I'm playing, 3 is fine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, negazeus already at 4 here.
You start to get much above that, and it gets a little bit irritating.
Oh my goodness.
Great boss.
So they're both going to be on the same boss at the same time. But just the blue balls can make a big difference. And like this could allow Rob to catch up just a tiny bit just because of RNG. That's 6 for negazeus. 7. This is really bad. You might not be able to see it on the restream, but I'm looking at him and he's shaking his head. He's unhappy.
Yeah, this boss, real fun.
So that will be 7 for negazeus,
7 is rough because
Yeah.
that's about
2 extra cycles?
I'm trying to not do math on stream. It's about a minute time loss. Completely out of your control.
Absolutely.
Most other things like Moldorm usually is not your fault, or usually is your fault, I should say.
Place the blame on the runners.
Most of the time you can avoid Moldorm falls. Occasionally you can't if you get unlucky, but things like Moldorm are almost always up to, like, in your control. This is not. There's just nothing you can do.
Yeah. So it looks like it's a 7-3. Yeah. Which, I mean... So what you said was like a minute?
Yeah, versus about 24 seconds. So, 36 seconds saved because the game just said so.
Yep. He was like, today I favor Rob!
Which is okay. I mean, Rob had a rougher Hera. I'm not complaining
It's like,
about that.
I'll be kind to you. It's like, the game doesn't punish it, like, equally either. It's like, oh, the soft lock for negazeus, then the falls for Rob, then the enormous amount of blue balls for negazeus.
Yeah, it's one of like the frustrating parts about this game is the RNG, but it's also one of the things that sometimes you can just be like, well, RNG doesn't matter. Let's just see what I do. in terms of execution, because most things are in your control. So
now, because Rob had to reclimb the tower area, he has actually more bombs upon entering pod, so he might not pick up as many as negazeus. At least for like the first room.
These bombs are so on your way. It's not even worth skipping.
In the middle section, sure, but the one on the left-hand side, when you're going to the basement to get the smoke key.
If you've got a few extra, yeah, that one is about 35 frames to pick up.
Free time save.
Jeez. I mean, 35 frames is 35 frames, but
it's half a second.
It's half a second. Like,
and he needs every half a second he can get.
These runners seem pretty close in skill. What I would expect at this point is that while Rob probably can make up time on negazeus in like all of the splits, it's probably not enough to overcome. Well, actually, no, they're not that far apart.
Oh.
It would still be tough, I think. But if we see excellent play from Rob and a few mistakes here and there from negazeus, it could certainly happen. Yeah, we're seeing that hard drop on the bridge for negazeus. That's fine. It does mean we won't see the first drop in Turtle Rock be a heart, but it makes it more likely to get the fairy early, which is usually pretty nice.
But Rob is the one who got the heart early over in Aga Tower. So he really doesn't want the Helmasaur to drop.
Yeah, it's a 50-50 chance, so fingers crossed.
Oh, Rob got another extra bomb! I still don't understand sexy statue time.
Yeah, you gotta go further left. Okay, that is a smart way to avoid getting the drop there.
Making him fall, that's smart, yeah.
Places the bomb in the wrong spot. Yeah, just blow open the wall, fall, reset. Yeah, this is fine.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's no reason not to pause buffer this at least one time, because you do want a menu here. So yeah. Okay. Good. Also didn't lose too much health. Recognized that he placed the bomb wrong and didn't even like accidentally damage boost across or try to damage boost across or anything like that. Turtle's not behaving on negazeus' side.
No. Gonna have to wait.
So his health is going to be good to keep beams coming into the back here, which is great. It's definitely like a bigger time save than you think.
To conserve the beams?
Yeah, it's like 3 seconds or something.
Oh.
negazeus here on the Helmasaur fight, 17 hits to break the mask. Looks like we're at 9. Depending on RNG from Helmasaur, so far been pretty good. We want to see down walks and we want to see tail swipes.
Definitely don't want fireballs.
Just barely missed that hammer. Charge to spin and then just release that spin. And it'll continue. All right.
Yeah. You could have released it earlier, but you could get safe-ish. Took another hit, but that's fine. Just like I mentioned before, you only need one heart to beat Helmasaur. It's fine. Everything is fine.
For most of this game, getting through it is good.
Yep. Survive. Because this might not be low percent, but it's still not easy.
Yeah, the difference between low percent and this is that one heart.
Yeah.
We'll see Rob's Helmet Sword fight, see how this goes.
It looks like... Oh, he activates his spin speed, so that already gives him the extension for the hammer. Oof. There we go.
Pretty good fight there.
Yeah, that was actually really good. There was not even a single fireball. Murder-dactyl avoided for Negazeus.
Nice hammer dash there. Marley walks down a little bit so that the enemies don't get you.
Yep.
And you go for it.
Mm-hmm. So as we're approaching, our good friend Stumpy is going to give us the shovel. We're going to mirror and get that flute. What's the ultimate way to do this, by the way?
Optimal way to get the flute?
Yeah.
There are 2 quick warp pixels. The optimal one is the left quick warp pixel because you can just hold up to get dig. Guarantee you get it. And Negazeus did get the left quick warp pixel there, I believe. So it should be good to just walk up. And But, you know, coming a little bit to the left to guarantee you're on it is good enough. Not a big deal.
Yep. And we're approaching our favorite friend, every runner's favorite friend, Mr. Usain Bolt.
Yeah, gets the spin speed activation, waits for him there. That's not necessary, but his movement was a little bit out of control, which it's very difficult to control. So, not a huge deal by any means. But just taking it a little bit safer is totally fine. Oh yeah, movement a little bit. When you're dashing, it's better to do cardinal motions to maximize your dash. I think it's just a little bit diagonal motion on that screen, which meant that wasn't able to get underneath the 3rd guard in time to start a dash. So just opted to kill them instead, which is
make it safe.
Yeah,
It's better than taking a hit.
Absolutely.
I don't know if both of our runners are watching each other. You're absolutely allowed to watch your opponent in this tournament. Negazeus might be taking it a little more safely just because, like, oh, I know I'm a little ahead. I can take it. Rob might be taking...
Also, yeah, sometimes it's better to take it safe. Because the game just, puts his Azak underneath you right when you're hopping off a ledge and you take 2 parts.
Sucks.
Also,
but that's okay. Just like we mentioned for Elmosor, you only need 1 heart to beat the dungeon.
Big thing to be aware of, or keep in mind, is that Negazeus did skip the mushroom. Not that there's a good opportunity to use it in this dungeon, but...
to be fair, Rob did not pick up the powder, so he is just a mushroom guy. He's a fun guy.
Yeah, and the mushroom is gonna be mostly useful later on.
Yeah. I mean, it can only be used once we get the Cane of Samaria.
But even if we could fake powder before then, we don't really expect to be too low on health aside from the last couple of dungeons, because while things do hit hard and are dangerous, like we see a lot in Thieves Town here, it's mostly incidental damage. It's not huge chunks at a time, except for these crickets, which are the worst.
Yeah, down to 3 hearts. It's still fine. I mean, with a perfectly predictable pattern for... oh my goodness, blind, it shouldn't be too difficult to be able to just get out of there unscathed.
Yeah, I would be surprised if any runners at this point are concerned about the blind fight. I am concerned about the Zazix.
It's fine. He can still take one more hit from a Zag-Zag. And still be fine.
Okay, we're okay.
He's past the tough part. Just gotta dash down. There we go.
Nice
Ooh.
hallway on Rob's side.
Yeah, got the God Pixel.
Oh, that is still okay.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I'm a little nervous for negazeus here. I mean, it should be fine. It should be fine.
Oh, at this point, I stopped being nervous.
I'm nervous for them. Okay, decides to take up the safety heart. Totally fine. I mean, if you get hit by a head, that's still 2 hearts. If it's a fireball, that's just 1. So that extra safety might be worth it.
But yeah, like I said, at this point, most runners are pretty confident in their blind fight. It's one of the first things you learn in this game because it goes bad. When it goes bad, it goes very bad. But
Yes.
Nicely handled there on negazeus' side.
I was a little nervous. Oh my goodness. But everything's fine. These runners are pros.
Yeah, and you know the best part about the crystal cutscenes is when you do have panic attacks, maybe because the blind fight goes a little bit wrong.
Yep.
You get a second to calm your heart rate.
Yeah, breathe, relax, grab your inhaler if you need to. Yeah, but Rob's just flying through Thieves Town, which is good, which is what he needs right now to be able to catch up. Yeah, too bright.
So we're gonna see the same 9 hits here. Hopefully, not exactly the same. And yeah, a little bit better, which is what we
That's perfect fight. Perfect fight. Yeah. So both our runners are going for the get rich quick, easy scheme. Bomb houses and steal their money. Hey, explosives gets the point across. Well, maybe the shrapnel.
Yeah, here we're picking up Tempered Sword, which is the single best item in the game.
Mm.
Yeah, it's incredibly good. This is a pretty big gold on Rob's side. Looks like about 2 seconds, 3 seconds.
Yeah, that's nice. Very nice. It's what he needs right now. He needs a few golds. Ooh! It's okay, he has backup bombs. I like having backup bombs myself. I call them my emotional support explosives.
Yeah.
They wouldn't let me on a plane with them, but like in this game, you're totally fine. The bird does not disallow you from boarding.
Yeah, bombs are like... I don't expect to have Ice Palace bomb jump issues, but having extra bombs is just a nice, buffer. You can kind of calm down a little bit. Since it is pretty precise and you're on a timer, it's not the easiest. But what I'm concerned about is that hit takes him down to 8 hearts, which having an even number of hearts in this dungeon allows you to take 1 fewer hit from most enemies that hit you, which not good.
I mean, who knows? Maybe he'll get a fairy drop from that bush. I don't know if he'll stop to pick it up, but it could happen.
depending on when it happens, you may not even want it. Depending on how mummies go, you may want it though.
Gyarados bad.
At least the second room cooperated for the first time in this game's existence.
Everything's fine. Oops.
Messing up that overworld screen at all puts the Ropas in not good position. But we're through it. We didn't take an extra hit. That's good.
What Ropas?
Slash one mini and avoid the other. Probably a good call.
Nice.
Yeah, we'll want to see negazeus keep this current health. 5 hearts for the Moth fight is pretty comfortable. It's not ideal, but it's pretty comfortable.
Yeah, he's getting to a bit more complex part depending on the movement patterns of some enemies. And like, you just want everything to go fine, but if anything goes off the rails, it's like you just have to stop and wait, like he just did with that fire snake.
Rob getting the press dash and then the direction, I forget if it's same frame or one frame later, and you don't actually push the statue.
Huh. There we go. No issues.
Punished for trying to go fast. What a video game.
Here we go. negazeus for the fight with Mothula. Like, it seems pretty easy. It should be safe. Ooh. Dashes into a spike? That's not
the
great.
conveyor patterns are what gave him a little bit of issue there. Taking damage from the spikes is
He's
not
down to
what
a
we
single
want,
heart.
at least this many times. Ooh, and that's why.
Yep. And he's out of magic. And Rob is on his heels. He's about to enter the same area, but he's got a full bar.
Yeah, Moth sucks.
Moth sucks. Man.
Usually Moth is like
Fire Rob because, you know, when Moth's to a flame.
Moth just doesn't get off this bike sometimes. It's so ridiculous.
That death. Not only does it put both our runners like at both a death in this run, it put them in the same room.
Yeah. So, you know, to his credit, Rob's been doing what he needs to. You know, play well up to this point, giving himself a chance, and it's all tied up now. So.
Mm-hmm. And depending on the Mothula patterns, be kind. Rewind.
This is a much friendlier Moth, but
not for Rob. He's down to a single.
Okay.
Like, something that I know rando players like to do is they like to charge up their sword in here when that's hard just to slow down the room. That's not something you can do in this game because spins will not work on Mothula. Not with you have the tempered sword. But he gets through. This is good. This is good. Rob is fine. You only need one heart to beat the boss.
Ooh, okay.
It's a great rule of thumb.
I swear, I haven't calmed a match yet where we haven't had something like this happen. And the game just be nice for once, please. So yeah, here we are on Ice Palace, which is definitely not super hard split or anything. Definitely not a chance for multiple disasters to happen.
No.
please.
This is the relaxing part. We just went through a pretty difficult dungeon. Just because things can just go wrong so easily. To something we can absolutely control. The overworld. Just lots more space to react. This is just going through the motions.
I get more nervous for that dash to the right than I think on just about any other screen in this video game.
Really? Like the one with the rope underneath, on top of it?
Yep.
Yeah, I admit if he jumps awkwardly, you might get hit, but come on. It's not gonna happen. These runs have been flawless so far. RNG has been on their side.
Yeah, this video game.
Mm-hmm.
Very fun.
Totally.
Negazeus canceled his dash into Zora's domain, which is about 20 frames.
Really? Oh, I didn't know that one.
See Rob do it as well. Rob did it ever so slightly better, probably saved 1 extra frame compared to Negazeus. But
Let's see. I'm liking this commentary. You bring the stats, the facts, the accuracy. I bring the puns, or I try to.
and we're gonna hopefully see that same cancel on the way out, which saves like another 20 frames or so.
Yeah, but if he doesn't get it, nobody's gonna flip out about it.
20 frames, about a third of a second. Like, not exactly the end of the world if you don't get it.
Nope.
Yeah, it just takes a little bit longer for the transition. Gets friendly-ish patterns from the enemies leaving the screen, which is, yeah. As long as you don't get hit, we're okay.
Mm-hmm. It's also a good way to stock up on bombs, killing those Zoras if you're low for some reason. You shouldn't be. But, oh, that's an interesting way to kill a Zora. I didn't know that the merfolk were flammable.
Yeah, thank goodness they are, or else
Yeah.
even
I mean,
longer.
you wouldn't think so, but it's like, yeah, you can totally burn fish. Even though they're in water. Yeah, both entering Ice Palace, my favorite dungeon, by far. I love it so much.
I actually do think this dungeon is really cool. It's like there is like no RNG aside from this bomb floor room and the direction that the conveyor goes. So
yeah, so there's
you
lots
have
of
a lot
control,
control
and
over what
it's still like a difficult dungeon. So Negazeus can pick up a bomb under the pod. We'll have to probably take some bombs from those Stalfos Knights.
Yeah, this is fine. Luckily, Rob has 1,000,000 bombs from earlier.
Yes. Ah, yes, the 1,000,000 bombs, and that gives him just enough chance to catch up here. I really like having beams in this roller, the carpet room that moves, just to be able to kill that.
Negazeus was expecting to be on bombs. Luckily, still has enough magic.
Yep.
Rob, pause buffering this. That is fine. It's going to be a little bit slower, but you really just want to get it more than anything else. So, no problems there.
No problems. The only difference is like 1 heart difference right now, but it's totes okay.
Hardest room in the dungeon. Nicely done on Rob's side.
It is? Oh. I thought this is the hardest room. Like, do well?
Yeah, they're both pretty tough.
I
But
like that.
Pangators is like...
I like
The
that
only
clip.
fire bar is classically hard. You look at it and you're like, wow, I can't do that. Pen Gators is sneaky hard because you look at it and you go, wow, that's easy, and then you time yourself doing it and you're losing 40 frames. You're like, how in the world?
Anyway, bow should be fine for magic, I think.
Yeah, they haven't wasted any broad shots.
No. Here we go. Best boss. He's a cuddly little fluff ball. Well, once you get him out of his shell. Ooh.
Okay, so don't stand there. Yeah, both of them having a bit of trouble. Negazeus a little bit more.
Okay. Eesh. Oh, that icicle at the end, that scared me. But yeah, okay.
All right.
So
These are
lot
well-
panic gets you wins.
My only critique of that cleanup: don't stand in the middle of all three of the puffs. I am surprised he didn't die when that happened.
Because there's nowhere to run.
I mean, he technically had an out to go to the bottom right, but if the right puff had charged him, he wouldn't have been able to get there in time. If the other two had, it would have been okay, but that top right one, there was just no way out, so.
Mm-hmm. All right, well, as we hit the 1 hour mark, I'm going to invite everybody to please follow our runners. If you're enjoying this content, it would be very much appreciated if you could give them a follow, because they work hard at this. They're good. They deserve it.
Yeah, like, I mean, we're talking about frames. I just think that, like, collectively, as a community, we are extremely good at this game. It's very punishing, very difficult, very hard to do. Even half the rooms close to optimally, let alone all of them.
Yeah.
And here we're getting, you know, the runners are nice. They're doing the same shopping, so we can easily compare.
Shopping? Well, they haven't done any shopping yet. They're going to Swamp.
I assume they're doing the same. Well, you know what? No math, but I can't see Rob splits.
Yeah, it just goes Swamp.
Negazeus does all of his shopping in Mire. It looks like
Yeah.
Rob, based off of splits, also does all of his shopping in Mire.
It just might be.
But, you know, doing math on stream is going to get me in trouble, so I'm sure that's not actually what's going to happen.
Math is hard. But not as hard as this game. Ooh. Couple of hits from the spike there on Rob's side, but that's fine. This dungeon isn't so scary. It's technically the second dungeon you're supposed to do in the game. Like, the developer intended one. So nothing is too scary. Nothing's really gonna kill you. It's just mostly annoying getting hit. Or bonking.
Yeah, this dungeon is like... It doesn't feel hard, and even when you get better at it, it never like feels hard. You just notice the time loss more.
to be fair, like it's probably harder if you had 2 less hearts and not the tempered sword. Or the fire rod.
I mean, Fire Rod doesn't change the difficulty. Fire Rod makes the dungeon harder, even if it makes it faster. Yeah, this dungeon is like... The Tempered Sword doesn't actually help out too much in the dungeon itself. Most of these enemies are pretty weak. They all die to the Master Sword in one hit.
Yeah. Let's see, the berries, the Stalfos... Whatever those Strider things in the water are. Even the Camerons, yeah, it's only a slash.
So yeah, it's like... The Tempered Sword doesn't help us in the dungeon, but it does very much help for the boss.
That's for sure.
Something like... I don't know, 10 plus seconds on the boss? Maybe more on average. It's kind of silly.
I have I do recite a mantra as soon as I enter Swamp Palace. I say it out loud, I say it in my brain. hit the switch, hit the switch, hit the switch, hit the switch, because I so often forget. You let go of the water, all you want to do is like, yeah, I can go to left side, let's go fast. And then forgetting to hit that switch, that's a bad idea. You're going to have a bad time.
Yeah, you know, a lot of players in this tournament are primarily rando players, but you know, they just like playing the game, so they wanted to join this.
Yeah.
That's less of a problem for NMG runners than rando runners, because for NMG runners, we just like don't think about what we're doing as much, right? Because there's not as much focus on routing or anything like that.
Yeah.
But NMG runners also have a weakness because we don't think about things. When things go wrong, it doesn't go as well usually.
Oh yeah, like when you're completely absent-minded while you're playing the game, like bad things can happen. Like for example, forgetting to pick up the moon pearl, and then killing Aga and realizing, oh hey, I'm a bunny. It's a long trek back up the mountain. I'll let you know. Trust me on that one.
Getting beat up in this room, it is.
Yeah. It's just bullying. It's like it's not even life-threatening.
It's really not. All right. I was a little surprised we skipped that first arrow pot on negazeus' side, since it's.
He's up to 19. He'll be fine for Meyer. He might pick up the 5 in Turtle Rock.
These arrows are faster than the Turtle Rock arrows by 5 or 10 frames or something. And we want to be at 21 leaving Misery Mire. Or, sorry, leaving Swamp. We want to be at 13 leaving Misery Mire at minimum. Now, maybe negazeus is planning... Well, yeah, maybe he's planning on getting the chest before Ice Armos, which is technically faster. We should all do it, but
really,
it's impossible, so we don't.
Oh, okay then.
But it's only faster if you go for an impossible strat, namely Zero Cycle on Argus, which Rob started off pretty nice there, and then he missed it, and
that's still okay. They each got the same number of, cycles. Both opting for spins. Spins is safer than using the Fire Rod for sure. Fire Rod is faster, but not by much. And if you miss it, then, yeah, that's not great.
Yeah, only about a second to use a Fire Rod there. Missing it is going to cost you like 4 seconds or so. And there's some kind of precise things that you have to be aware of when doing the Fire Rod, or you can put yourself in a position to miss more often than you would like. So really, if anybody doesn't go for it, nobody's going to judge you.
And one text box away from each other.
And now we'll see if my math is right and if they're both doing their shopping, full shopping in Meyer here.
No matter what, they have to go get ether. It's just a question about the Ice Rod.
That was a gold swamp on negazeus' side. Got beat up a little bit, and the thing is, you always look at your swamp gold and you're like, wow, what if I didn't get beat up? I could beat this by 10 seconds.
You are correct. negazeus is off picking up the Ice Rod. What is the benefit of getting both? Like getting all your shopping after Swamp versus getting it all after Ice Palace?
Getting it done before Swamp has the benefit of your health is less important in Swamp early on, but I don't know, like having beams in Swamp 1 is almost as useful as having beams in Mire 2, so it's kind of personal preference at that point. The advantage of getting Ice Rod in the same split that you get Ether is that you have the potential to, if you lose one heart or so, you can get a heart getting Ice Rod without costing you any time, depending on what the crabs do. So you can kind of get back up to Heaven Beams. Technically, it's also optimal to get Ether in this split by about 20 or 30 frames, because hook climbing the stairs is much faster, although it adds a couple of menus. So even though your movement is faster, you do have an extra
Menu,
one or two menus. I forget.
Yeah, two menus, yeah. Well, you menu to the hookshot, then you menu away from the hookshot.
But you're menuing to them.
So far, done their shopping. They did it all before Meyer. Rob losing his beams, but negazeus conserving them.
And of course, it's actually technically optimal to get Ether and Turtle Rock by like 10 frames, because you save a couple of menu moves by one menu move by not having to go over the Ice Rod, and you can potentially farm a bomb from the bomb slugs in here, which is one of the fastest bombs in the game, but it's RNG based. So,
but at this point, they don't need any more bombs.
No.
Like, even negazeus has a safety bomb in case like this, he misses his spooky for some reason. But
yeah, a safety bomb is nice if spooky goes awry. That's not really something I anticipate happening. But you do need one bomb entering GT, which is not a big deal because there are two bombs basically in your way in Turtle Rock, so you can take your pick of which one you want. And Rob has a chance to beat the fireball. Are we going to see it? Probably not with that stair entry. Yeah.
No.
Take the safe strat there.
Oh my.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. He's still fine. Rob did pick up those extra bombs.
7 bombs?
Yeah, it was a 4-drop. Sense. Right? Need every bomb you can get. Bomb Vitreous. No, that's very slow. Please don't do that.
Yeah. Negazeus here lost 2 hearts, which, if nothing else goes wrong, he'll be on 8 hearts entering the Vitreous fight here, which is more than enough, but this is kind of... start thinking about it a little bit. Not nervous just yet.
Yeah, Rob might not even use his mushroom here, actually, because everything's going well.
Or I guess we're going for Spark Gamble. Oh, we're not going for Spark Gamble. Yeah, it's okay.
Nope.
Okay.
It's fine. Wait, is it quicker to menu to the hook shot rather than dashing underneath?
It is, yeah.
Okay. Same door transitions here.
It's not necessary to continue to hold your sword into that room. Just dashing into it will make the skeleton jump away. Yeah, we're on 8 and 9 hearts here, respectively. Unless something really bad happens, we're going to be okay.
It's okay. We've got professionals. Takes a hit.
7 hearts is still fine.
7 hearts is what the practice gives you. The practice realm gives you. Nope. Did negazeus lose his spooky?
I must have missed it.
Yeah, it didn't work. That's a good thing he has his emotional support bomb.
Yeah, and on Rob's side, we're going to see just how much faster this is. not having to bomb this open and just kind of go. Not going to have to walk up to the top of that screen either. Very nice.
Yep.
And here, going to intentionally damage boost. You can get away with doing it on SUS5. That is...
Ooh.
Just took a little bit too wide of a path there. Needs to kind of calm down a little bit.
Yeah, he's down to 3 hearts. Just gotta play it safe a little. I mean, anything will kill him at this point, be it thunder and lightning, or like a hit by those eyeballs, or even Vitreous himself. They're both on 2 hearts. It's fine. They're both on the last phase. 8 arrows to the big eyeball. And they're fine. You only need 2 hearts to beat a boss.
Can we stop with the penalties?
They like to stress us out. Yeah, they're somewhat in sync. Negazeus has the menu to the mirror, but it's really close. It's nice. You want to see this in a race.
Yeah, you really do. I kind of hope it will. All right, just nothing goes wrong in Turtle Rock, and we'll have a close race going into GT. It's what the people want, right? So.
Oh no, I kind of want, like, in the entire climb for the GT, it needs to alternate. It's like, oh no, Rob's ahead. Oh no, it's Negazeus. Oh no, it's Rob. Who's gonna take it? Oh, I can't wait. I love it. Love it. See, look, this mirror transition is like perfectly in sync. Oh wait, I was looking at Negazeus twice. But yeah, everything is perfect.
Both runners still have their fairy, so start of the dungeon will hopefully be okay.
That's true, thanks to Rob's quick thinking of pushing down that Helmosaur, that mini Helmosaur over in Pod. That's pretty good. Dead rocks are being dead rocks.
It's just curved around that dead rock.
Yeah.
Beam makes a lot of sense.
It's... Ooh. That's a bonk and a dead rock, that's okay. They're so in the way! Okay, we got through the awfulness of dead rocks now. We will never see them again.
Goodness.
Yeah.
All right, now the good news is nobody's ever died in Turtle Rock, so...
What's the bad news?
Fine. The bad news is I lied.
Oh god, no! No! Why would you do this to us? I was like, oh, thank goodness. But hey, I'm actually curious how they're gonna tackle the next few rooms. Because you can take it safe, you can take it risky. Risky is faster.
Yeah, and we see missing the torch there with the hook on Rob's side. It's pretty tight to get it. Ooh,
Yeah,
taking a hit
took a
early
hit
in this
there.
round. Probably a good idea not taking more damage here.
Yeah. He already took the one, so he has to take the rest safe. Oh,
too
takes a second. Yeah, he's probably really counting on that fairy drop at this point. I don't know how necessary it was to grab the magic, though. The heart, yes. Actually, the heart, would it change? What? How much damage does
The
it
heart
change?
changes everything. Change humps do
Yeah.
yeah.
Fairy for Rob. Negazeus counting on the fairy here. Does not get it.
Humps behave. All right, this is a solid pattern.
Yeah.
A little bit
It
slow
is.
on the.
Spoke too fast. Negazeus unfortunately takes a death on the chomps. It's not too far in the dungeon, but like this does give Rob a solid lead, honestly. because the rest is just execution. Once you're past the second part of Turtle Rock, like GT is just going through the motions.
It's tough. But yeah, it's way less deadly than this dungeon.
Yeah. And probably also gets the magic drop after the second Poke. That's nice. I mean, it's not mandatory, it's just nice.
With beams, it's not necessary at all. Without beams, it's very nice to have.
Yeah.
It just lets you make a mistake in the dungeon, which, yeah, you make mistakes in this dungeon.
Did pick up the arrows here. So how many arrows do you want leaving TR?
13 is fine.
The same amount as mine.
Yeah.
There's that fairy drop he was hoping for earlier.
The
Feels
main
bad,
goal
man.
with arrows is to have enough to beat Ice Armos, which is 18. And then from there, we'll get 10 afterwards, so we can finish the rest of the dungeon. I wonder if 18, that's not too high. Okay. That must have been the highest pixel Rob could have said. Opting to face up for this spin just so he doesn't accidentally poke the pokies.
Yeah.
Nothing
No
wrong with that.
poking, no beaming.
Here's laser skip, which, looks like. Oh, didn't trust that setup, but looked good. Oh, a little bit low in the second one.
Oh. I mean, the health you don't really matter, but it's the time loss there. At
Feeling
this
laser
point,
skip
nothing.
and time loss.
Hmm.
The health can matter, but
I mean,
Trinex.
we've seen players run. I mean, they should be fine on Trinex. They might not opt for like the fast cycle by going above him, but like even if you take the slower staying in front, that's pretty safe. And I'm totally not chasing anyone.
That's too low. That's not too
No,
low.
that was
My goodness. That must have been the lowest pixel you could have done that from. Yeah, and this is why I was a little nervous.
Everything's fine. Everything's fine. Trinex did
Don't
not
be
just pee the floor. Oh no.
Okay.
I'm holding my breath. No! Oh. Rob taking a death at the worst possible place in the dungeon. On the boss.
Well, please? Trinex, don't do anything today.
It's not my fault. I did not curse them. Oh boy, he's down to 2 hours. When he's on the last phase of Trinex, it should be fine. God, I should stop saying that.
Alright, the setup for the double spin looks okay.
Yeah,
this'll
it
work.
looks good.
There we go.
There you go. Okay, so negazeus is out. Rob is making his way back, but at least he doesn't have to do a bunch of detours to open chests, grab some keys and stuff. So, quick as he can, he's trying to make it back to Trinex.
He's one of the most punishing deaths in the game. Not in terms of like having to really game. You're gonna give him that RNG. In terms of time loss, I think only Cold Stare is worse.
From going to the beginning of the dungeon to directly to the boss, I mean?
Yeah. This is like
Because, yeah, you have to do the full dungeon no matter what.
pretty significant time loss.
Yeah. And just these floor patterns where you have to use Samaria, that's slow. Not even Vitreous?
Victorious is only about 2 minutes. This is closer to 3.
Okay, wow.
It feels worse though. You don't have to do laser skip. You're fine.
Yeah,
Okay.
you're done. You're done. That door's already open.
Remembered.
Stay on target. And he got another fairy drop.
Yeah, wrapped around, killing all the popos.
Yep, it did.
Pokies.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty quick because each pokey can give you 2, right? So.
Yeah, Yeah, 2. Well, yeah, it's fine. I've never seen 2, except for like in the TAS, but theoretically it can happen, so I don't understand why not.
Haven't y'all get 2 drops from a pokey? There we go. You gotta control the bladder situation, Rob. Make sure Trinex doesn't pee the floor.
We're fine now. We're not
Yes.
gonna take the doesn't matter. We're good on this fight. Negazeus into GT here. This is a very challenging dungeon to do quickly.
It is?
Yeah.
I can't tell if you're lying anymore because...
No. This dungeon is very challenging. Like Negazeus's gold is a 747, which is pretty good. Like a good goal for most players, especially when they're first starting out, is to get a sub 8 GT. Our best theory task has this dungeon done in 6 minutes and 20 seconds.
Oh my, that is maddeningly fast.
Yeah, we lose so much time. This is incredibly hard. Just to RNG, trying to optimize the rooms is very difficult.
Alright, so Negazeus is going to enter the Ice Armor Spice with 18 arrows, unless he picks up the chest, which, as you said, was faster.
Not sure about this setup. That is in a bad spot. Yep.
That's bad.
Zelda's
takes
goal.
1 hard damage.
Yeah, 648. We have a couple of other players right around the 650 mark, which is extremely good.
There we go. Perfect amount of arrows for Ice Iron Mouse. And thankfully, does not forget to pick up the ones behind the big key. If you do, that's just tragic.
Are extra arrows in the room to the right there, but
You room to
like
the right?
this in case you die in GT or something. The
Yeah.
unthinkable happens.
Huh. Yeah. So as Negazeus is starting his gauntlet, Rob is just entering GT. He's off after the big key. So it's clearly in Negazeus' hands right now, but the last time I said that about Rob, he died. So let's not let that happen, please.
Just a little bit too far left on Rob's side for that boomerang throw. Or rather, a combination of too far left and too high.
Yeah. Ooh, ouch. Negazeus, do you take the safety? Not even. Because he might know he's ahead, so he could just take the safety fairies in case, but... Because he does not have the powder, he does not have the mushroom. He needs to be careful. The Zack is really messing with him.
Could
That's-
walk back down the stairs if he was
Hey,
interested.
he still has time! Oh god! God, they heard a half. I'm not saying it, I'm not saying it. I mean, technically, you only need 1 heart to beat GT.
Technically.
Technically speaking. This is stressful. Alright, Rob places his bomb correctly. He won't have issues with that anti-fairy. Okay. Actually, this places them almost on equal footing here.
Let's
The
hope-
difference between the arrow count for Negazeus He has 5.
Okay. Gonna need a drop.
Yes.
I would do. All right.
I would
I would
panic.
have slashed that hoping for a drop.
The blue one? Okay. Yeah, that's true. He's still part of the pool. Okay, there it is. Okay, he's got the arrows.
All right.
There's a few apart. Serious, don't need to remove my roll, please.
Are we gonna?
All right, feel
We're
bad.
taking the fairies this time, right?
Negazeus
Like-
has to take the fairies. He has to. He has 3 hearts. Like, I could understand you need to go fast. You want to maintain your lead. But it's just, realistically, take the time loss.
Yeah.
Yes! You have 2 hearts! Okay, good. He is going for it. So he'll be at full health. Yeah, Rob doesn't really need to worry about it because he does. Oh, he only picked up 1 fairy.
I think this is
The other one was not. Yeah, yeah, one's fine. One's fine.
9 hearts here is generally enough.
It was remember what I was mentioning? I would love it if they kept alternating rooms. You're like, oh, it's Rob's ahead. Oh, it's Negazeus ahead. It's literally happening.
Please.
Oh my goodness. 1 room apart. Very cooperative on Rob's side, the gauntlet, except for that first room. There you go. Negazeus does not run into the flock of Beamos.
Unfortunate pattern.
Again? Parade. Oh, misses that last fire rod shot for Negazeus. So they both got a 2 cycle. Yeah. It's not over yet.
This upstairs section in GT is not too bad.
No, it's
Worry
fairly
about.
standard. Nothing to worry about. Maybe you can worry a little bit about the guards on the collapsing bridge, though. Oh no, Rob misses the. Okay, he's fine. It's fine. Okay, do we have cooperative guards? No! I need to stop talking! Everything's fine. They're in the same room, just 1 menu apart.
This is we like the close races, but
Well, yes, you do. You really do. You're right. Negazeus take a tiny lead. It switched back to Negazeus. Oh my goodness. He's missing his fire rod shots. That's fine. It's fine. There's a refill. It's fine. They have plenty of bombs. They have all the keys that they need. Rob still needs 1, actually. And he's preparing. Rob is preparing for his fake powder. It's good. So, yeah. If everything goes well, Negazeus is going to with 7 hearts, and Rob will be full.
the health situation for both of them is probably okay.
He looks like Rob missed the bunny beam, so he only got the fairy from the anti-fairy, which is fine. Like, he has 11.5 hearts. Moldorm very cooperative on both sides. Look how close this is. Aghanim could decide this. The warps from Ganon could decide this.
The worst. But yes, Aghanim here, similar to the first fight, we're going to have to reflect 6 shots into him. Except he's going to help us out by giving clones of himself, which always shoot energy balls, which makes the fight much more possible, but also harder. We're seeing not the friendliest patterns, but certainly able to make do.
Oh my goodness, they're equal now. They're both at 4. Oh no, 5? I missed this one. But yeah, like they did it in what, 3 or 4 cycles each? This is it! This is it! They're going to the Ganon fight. Warps can determine the winner of this. If everything goes well, and they have like the same patterns, negazeus will win. But RNG, which one will this game favor?
We want to see the runners get the same RNG, please.
You want to because you want it to be fair, but at the same time, the suspense is killing me.
12 hits to end this first set phase right here. negazeus looks good. We're getting the same pattern here. Rob also looks good.
No, he didn't get it.
negazeus is going to get extra cycle here, I think, on phase 2. I think he missed a couple of hits early. Maybe I miscounted too. I don't know.
No, he's fine. He's fine. No, what? I thought he didn't have to try anymore.
All right, so
Oh my god.
I think a 2-cycle phase 2 is 2 and 2 on Rob's side. Yeah, hard to get that.
It's not over yet. negazeus missing the first. No, he did get it. Okay. God darn it. Stress.
Rob's a little far away. Not going to get that one. Okay, friendly Ganon so far.
Warps, though. So negazeus off to the final phase. It really looks solid for him. As long as he doesn't take a fall, he can even take a fire bat to the face. He'll be fine.
And not cooperating too much on Rob's side, but finally stops. negazeus does get torch glitch, so from here, I think it's only like 10 spins left. Rob also gets it.
He uses lamp that guarantees almost you could get it. So
we're gonna aim to get 3 hits every time we light the torch here. Not always easy on a lot of patterns. And the hardest part is counting to 3, which is a lot. But it looks like
no,
just a couple spins away here.
Like Rob has been flawless, but negazeus, he was so far ahead. Oh no, Rob just missed one. But negazeus, put your GGs in chat. The big pig has been exploded on both sides. Congratulate both our runners, but negazeus takes it. Rob finishes like 10 seconds later.
Yeah, fantastic job.
That was awesome.
That was so cool.
Swapping to the interview scene, and yeah. So for the first, we have Rob here, and then we have negazeus. Hey guys.
GG.
That was intense.
Wow. I have emotions. They are mixed. I am proud of you both. You guys are amazing. negazeus does take it. He wins this match. So unfortunately, Rob is out. But GG's to the both of you. How are you feeling?
Well, kind of hard to process what just happened.
That's an understatement. I mean, I didn't see what happened, but there was no reason I should have won that race.
Oh, I was watching your stream the whole time. I knew exactly what happened.
So to inform negazeus, Rob did take a death or 2 to Moldorm and Trinex. That certainly cost a bit of time.
Yeah, after I died to Trinex, I thought for sure the race was over. And then your gauntlet happened. And then I got my first ever sub 8 GT.
Nice.
The fact that negazeus did take a death in his gauntlet definitely helped tighten things up.
Yeah, I mean that had to happen for me to still be in it, obviously.
Mm-hmm. At that point, I was already like, "It's over." I'm just waiting for the race chat to say, Rob has won, and I can just relax and not think about it. And it just wasn't happening, and it wasn't happening, and because that death in Gauntlet was, I even died to Chomps earlier. Obviously, that's not a huge death, but I did peak in Mire. That was the only time I peaked, and I saw we were even. Probably a dumb decision on my part, but
honestly, it just kept exchanging leads here and there. Like a tiny mistake in this one room gave, let's say, Rob a little bit advantage, but then Rob make a tiny mistake, then negazeus takes the advantage, and it just kept switching back and forth. And like seeing both of you catch up to each other, that was just so spectacular. Thank you so much for giving that to us, by the way.
I mean, that's all I ever want the races to be, is a good race. I hate when I'm like 3 minutes behind or something, and it's just like, well, nobody's watching anymore.
You kept chat on their toes.
Yeah, I kind of wish I was watching this race rather than playing in it, to be honest.
Yeah. All sorts of stress, all sorts of fighting through deaths and stupid mistakes.
I feel ya. So that does mean negazeus moves on, and who we already know who your next opponent is, and that would be Misanthropic Buddha.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Any do you know the guy? Are you
Definitely
worried?
got a much better time than me, and I saw his last race. Unfortunate race for him, unfortunately, but yeah, I mean, I need to hope for some miracles, I think.
I think that if we get rid of a couple of deaths, I think that you will be fine. You're gonna offer quite the show on your next match. You'll be great.
Well,
I
truth be
believe in
told,
you.
I actually thought I was playing well when I wasn't dying to bosses or something stupid like that.
See?
My movement felt good. It was just dumb mistakes everywhere, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It can get into your head like, I made a small mistake, and then you keep focusing on that one mistake, which makes you make another mistake, and then you focus on both those mistakes. It's an ugly spiral. But thankfully, you got your head out of there. You beat the pig. You're done. You did it. You made it. Game over. I mean, win.
I mean, I'll be honest. At the end of that, I was like, thank God it's finally over. I don't have to have crappy races like this anymore. I was wrong.
Nope, you keep going.
Never escape. You're here forever.
Mm-hmm. And how about you, Rob? Now that you're out, you're free. You're finally free. I'm sure you were hoping to make it a little further. But
yeah, I mean, I think after 03, my group, I had a reasonable run. I got a couple of wins in the brackets there. I'm certainly looking forward to watching some more races, you know?
Yeah, which is good. You made it. I think you made it far. I think so. It is well deserved.
Yeah,
and since you started this tournament, like your time has gone down significantly.
Yeah, I think it's like 2.5 minutes off my PB since the start of the tournament.
Really good.
Wow. Yeah, that's like in just a matter of like a few weeks.
But yeah, I mean, thanks to everyone who organised the tournament, and to like ZeldaSpeedRuns for hosting matches and stuff. You guys for commentating, and good luck to Zeus for the rest.
Yeah, GG, Rob. I'm glad we were able to put on a good race.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, speaking of Zelda speedruns, thank you to guys for participating, and also thank you to my lovely commentators, Dow and Ryvek, for commentating on this. If you want to watch more stuff here on Zelda Speedruns, we currently have running the Ocarina of Time Item Rando Tournament and also the Ocarina of Time Championship Series, which we are also going to raid to. And other things that are going to be airing today will be the Minish Cap Randomizers weekly and the Wind Waker Randomizer bi-weekly. And also we will have another Link to the Past NMG at 9 p.m. UTC. I hope you will have some fun watching one of these if you're interested. We will raid over to Zelda Speedruns 2, I think it is. Yeah, we will go over to Zelda Speedruns 2. Say hello there, give them all your ZSL love, and have a great time.
All right. Night, everybody.